Hey guys, it's Shenandoah. Welcome to the Shenandoah Show. It is about 2 a.m. and I was driving home from a concert in the dark in the country, and I just remembered this insane story, and I said, I've got to go home and write it down and share it with you. So I'm here, and here we are. So the story is called Firebird, and it's kind of a story of hope, I guess. But anyway, here we go. So when I was about 7 years old, my favorite aunt married an idiot. At 7 years old, I knew this man was a buffoon. He was the type of person that if he hadn't seen the family in a few days, he'd walk up to you, preferably if there was a crowd or if you were in a crowded restaurant, and he'd grab the elastic band of his mustard-colored PE teacher shorts and go, "Look how much weight I've lost!" Pulling it out as far as it would go and bragging that he had lost weight. And everybody would be like, "Oh, good job." Except for my mother. She'd be like, "Ernie, it's fucking elastic." And then he would be like, "Whatever," and walk off. Ernie was the target audience of late night as seen on TV infomercials. He was the guy that would make the 10 easy payments of $49.99 to buy the book to get you started in real estate. He was the guy that was going to buy houses with no money down. He was also the person that called the 900 numbers and talked to his very own psychic friend so that a stranger in California could tell him that my aunt was going to have another baby. And when she complained about the $300 phone bill, he said, "Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. The good news is you're going to have a baby." And she said, "Ernie, I don't have a uterus." That was my uncle. I have almost no fond memories of this man, but the one memory I have, this tiny kindness, was the day I found an egg. We were walking on this beachfront strip in South Carolina called Isle of Palms, and it was just rows of expensive, fancy beachfront hotels and condos. And he drug my aunt and me to every single one. We would walk into the lobby of the hotel of anyone that would let us in, and he would explain that he was going to be a property owner and that he himself could own some beachfront property. So please give him a brochure so that he could learn more. My aunt was a cashier at the 7-Eleven, and Ernie was a janitor. We looked poor. We sounded poor. Poor people have a way of walking. We have a way of talking. Rich people's voices in the South, it's like honey dripping off your tongue. Poor people, it's like jagged glass. We are chewing glass when we speak. "Oh my God, did you see the pool, Ernie? It's so nice." Rich people in the South dress like it's perpetually Easter. They have khaki. They have polo shirts in every shade of pastel. We dressed like someone gave us 5 minutes behind the Kmart to dig through the dumpster. Ernie was famous for plaids and stripes. I just wore whatever I found on the floor of the trailer that day. I think it was probably a button-down Care Bear shirt, and I was unable to properly and efficiently button my shirts, and probably until I was about 15. So I'm pretty sure it was askew. So we were walking through these lobbies as Ernie would loudly proclaim that he was going to be a beachfront property owner, and everyone around us knew better. By the fifth hotel, I'm 7 years old and I'm getting tired, so I'm starting to lag back. And I look on the parking lot on the ground and I find an egg, a bird's egg, this tiny little bird's egg. And I was so excited. So I pick it up and I cup it in my hands like this. And then we go into the hotel and I kind of close it. And as we're walking and I'm thinking, I'm like, oh my God, if I keep it warm and then I take it home, I could put it underneath my lamp, under the light bulb. And I just tell Mom I'm afraid of the dark and we have to leave the light on 24 hours a day. I can hatch this thing out and I could have my very own pet. As a kid, we moved a lot. Trailer parks, crummy apartments. I was never allowed to have a pet, security deposits, just the fact that we're constantly moving. There was no way I could have one. So I had a large array of stuffed animals and I would invent amazing scenarios for those animals. We would I would rescue them from terrible zoos, abusive owners, but now Top tier, I'm going to have my very own bird. So we're in the hotel lobby, and Ernie walks up and drums his fingers, and he was like, "Young lady, I would like a brochure." And the lady said, "Of course, sir." And she turns around, rummages through some papers to find Ernie a brochure, and he turns to me and he goes, "Darling, what is that in your hand?" "Nothing." I don't want to say. I said, "Honey, what is in your hands? Let me see." And I open my hands up, and his big, brutish, calloused, dirty fingers scoop up my precious and delicate egg out of my hand. My stomach hurts. Ernie is holding my egg. And the receptionist comes back and she puts down the brochure. "Here you go, sir." But Ernie's still looking at me. He said, "Darling, do you know what this is?" And I'm looking at my egg, because Ernie's just waving it around, and I'm little, and I'm looking up, and he said, "Do you know what this is?" And I said, "Yes." It is a bird's egg, and it's mine, and I'm going to hatch it. He said, "Darling," and he squeezes it. He squeezes my egg, his big, stupid fingers, and he squeezes it as hard as he can, where like the blood is coming out of his fingers, and they're turning white. And he goes, "Darling, this ain't an egg. This is a fireball that somebody done sucked all of the spice off of and threw in the parking lot. Where did you get this?" "Out of the parking lot." The receptionist reached across the desk with the tissue, and she plucked the fireball out of my hand, and she threw it away. Clank! Right into the metal trash can, and with it, my hopes and dreams of having my very own pet. And I thought of this candy the other day. So I'm driving home in the dark watching for deer, and I think of this candy, and I think, what gross thing has come out of a stranger's mouth? Or someone you love, out of some parent. What gross thing has come out of someone's mouth that you're still nurturing? What are you carrying around in cupped hands, taking care of, that's garbage, that's nasty, that does not deserve your attention? What nasty thing does your internal receptionist just need to take a tissue, take it, and toss it? Just remember that whatever you're nurturing and you're taking care of that doesn't belong to you, you are deserving of that love and that nurturing that you were giving to that thing that doesn't even belong to you. You are worthy of love. You are good enough. You are loved. And it's going to be okay. Thank you guys so much for stopping by and listening to my insane stories. I promise to you, every one of these is real. And I can't eat another fireball without laughing at a 7-year-old girl so desperate to give love to something that she nurtured somebody else's sucked on candy. If you guys want to see more content, more info, more crazy stories, please visit my website. It's shannondoa.com. And don't forget, my name is misspelled. It's Shannon, DOA. Thanks, guys. I'll talk to you soon.